lot of sunshine. A few more clouds starting to develop, though right now will be mostly to partly sunny this afternoon. Temperatures already in the low to mid 80s. 86 in Harrison and Mountain Home, 84 here in Springfield and Warsaw, 81 in Monette. Feels like temperatures in the 90s for some of us. 91 in Branson is what it feels like, 87 in West Plains and 94 in Mountain Home right now. Today, though, winds are picking up a bit compared to yesterday. They're coming in from the southwest, keeping us warm. It's not going to be a cool wind, definitely a warmer one for us today with some gusts around 30 to maybe even 35 miles an hour. Now this afternoon, temperatures climbing upper 80s, maybe a few spots squeaking to around 90 in between 3 and 5 p.m. And then this evening staying quiet, low 80s by 9 o'clock. Highs around 87 to about 91 degrees this afternoon. Tomorrow is the first alert weather day. We are tracking the potential for some strong to severe storms. I'll talk about the threats and timing coming up. Thursday late afternoon and evening. We'll talk more about the threats and the timing hour by hour coming up next.
As much as you can in the AC.
It's hot.
Yeah.
Yesterday was so hot. Yeah, I spent basically all day inside.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah, it was so nice outside aside from the heat.
Right.
Maybe a good day to be at the pool today too. Stay back to our north as well, but the Storm Prediction Center, I just want to let you know, has included some areas north of I-44 in a severe risk for storms overnight tonight. I really think though that a lot of these stay back up towards Kansas City and into parts of northern Missouri, but of course we'll have to watch these closely heading into the evening, and if we think there's any changes and maybe some of these could inch a little bit further south, of course we'll let you know, especially through the KY3 weather app or into the evening shows of course as well. Heading into the afternoon today though, this is 4 o'clock. We'll have maybe just a few passing clouds. It's just hot. Then 10 p.m. here's the storms I'm talking about. Like I said, staying mostly off to our north, and then overnight tonight we'll stay pretty dry, especially further south. Tomorrow morning waking up with some sunshine, and then I think we're dry into the early afternoon. Tomorrow is the first alert weather day though. We will see storms that will develop in the late afternoon and evening hours along a cold front, but throughout the day we'll be mostly to partly sunny again, and storm chances really lining up along that front. This is 4 o'clock. These could become severe quickly and then continuing to run towards I-44 through the evening commute hours. This is 7 p.m. Back from Miller, Marys County down in towards Neosho and Joplin. Here we're passing through Springfield and then continuing to work their way south of the interstate around 10, 11 p.m. They'll start to weaken maybe just a bit, but they could still be severe. And then by sunrise Friday morning, they're on out of here and we'll enjoy some dry time. Level 2 slight risk for severe storms for many of our Missouri counties. Northern Arkansas, level 2 to level 1 risk. The further south you go, the lower that risk. And that risk is greater to our north in parts of northern Missouri as well. But here's the threats you can expect. I'd say our greatest threat, especially as those storms work their way over in towards our northwestern counties, will be about 60 to maybe 70 mile an hour wind gusts and up to golf ball size hail. Now, there is a very low, just not zero risk for an isolated spin up tornado. I think that risk would be maybe a little bit greater north of I-44, but still that's not going to be something widespread that we look at. Tomorrow will be a hot day too. We'll see temperatures in the upper 80s to low 90s. That front passes by and hey, it's pushing in some cooler air. We'll be in the upper 70s to low 80s Friday all the way through Sunday, and then another system pushes through that will bring us more rain this weekend and temperatures a little bit cooler by next Monday. So expect weekend rain. We'll see some scattered showers, few thunderstorms maybe Saturday morning into the afternoon. Maybe a little bit of dry time for some of you in the evening, but more rain overnight into Sunday morning and then scattered into Sunday afternoon as this cold front passes on by. Maybe some dry time Sunday afternoon, especially north of I-44. Now today it's hot, upper 80s, low 90s, 80s still at 9 o'clock. With overnight lows staying in the mid 70s. Of course, so let's talk about your feels like temperatures. We'll likely feel like the mid to upper 90s this afternoon for many. And tomorrow, feeling like the upper 90s again, maybe a few spots feeling around sunshine. Some more clouds are starting to develop right now and will be partly sunny for much of us this afternoon, but dry. Temperatures in the mid 80s currently for many, 87 the hot spot in Harrison, 86 here in Springfield, and 85 for you in Rolla right now. Feels like temperatures in the low 90s, upper 90s already though in Mountain Home, feeling like 97. 97 in Salem. Most, though, around 91 to 92 degrees right now is what it feels like. And winds are very breezy coming in from the southwest. Gusts right now almost 40 miles an hour in Joplin, almost 35 here in Springfield. Wind gusts today about 20 to 35 miles an hour on and off into the afternoon. So it's going to be a warmer wind for us throughout the day, and temperatures climbing back into the upper 80s, maybe a few low 90s for some of you later on during the afternoon, and then mid 80s still by around 8 o'clock. So staying warm and humid all evening as well. Most around 87 to about 90 degrees for some of you this afternoon, maybe a little bit warmer, 90, 91 in Harrison today. And tomorrow is the first alert weather day. It's going to be hot, but really we're watching some storm chances tomorrow evening along a cold front that could be severe. I'll talk more about that timing and the threats coming up soon. And storms work their way off to our north. Still some backup heading towards Quincy right now for northern Missouri, but we are dry here in the Ozarks. We're partly sunny right now and we'll stay dry to the afternoon today. I do want to mention, though, the Storm Prediction Center does have a low risk for severe storms. This is going to be for storms tonight. I do think, though, that the path of those storms really mostly stays off to our north, maybe back up closer to Kansas City, Kirksville into northern Missouri, kind of sweeping to our north. But of course, there is still maybe a low chance they work their way a little bit further to the south, and we'll watch the potential for maybe some small to quarter-sized hail or 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts if it does make a run a little bit further to the south. But if anything changes, and I do think we'll have severe storms in our northern counties tonight, of course you'll be the first to know, especially through the KY3 weather app. Heading into the afternoon, I think we stay dry and partly sunny, maybe a few more clouds than what this model here shows. And here's those storms I was talking about tonight. See, they work their way up towards Kansas City into parts of northern Missouri there with some very heavy rain and could be strong to severe. But for us, most models keep us completely dry overnight tonight. By tomorrow early morning, we'll start off with a decent amount of sunshine and partly to mostly sunny tomorrow afternoon. Now tomorrow, Thursday, is a first alert weather day. We will see the potential for some strong to severe storms Thursday afternoon and into the evening hours as a cold front begins to work its way on in. Storms line up right along that front and work their way into our northwestern counties closer to maybe 4 p.m. Then by around 7, still mostly along and north of I-44, but working their way back here into southern Missouri, northern Arkansas after dark. Still could be severe, but you notice that line is continuing to maybe weaken a bit overnight, and then we'll see a little bit of rain after midnight. I think that severe threat, though, winds down, and then we'll be dry Friday morning. Tomorrow's severe threat level 2 slight risk covers much of the area. Northern Arkansas level 1 to level 2 slight risk there. And here's the impacts that we're looking at. I'd say 60 to 70 miles an hour for your wind gusts will be our greatest threat, and then the potential for maybe some quarter-sized hail. Of course, there is a low, just not zero tornado risk as that line continues to work its way on in. Once again, I do think that is going to be on the lower end of the spectrum, though, and some strong damaging winds is likely what we'll deal with a little bit more in some of those storms. Temperatures still hot today and tomorrow, upper 80s to low 90s. That front passes by and temperatures cooling off a little closer to average. Friday and Saturday, another front into Sunday, cooling us off even more at the start of next week. But of course, we are tracking some weekend rain chances closely. So Saturday morning into the afternoon, looks like we will see some scattered rain, a few thunderstorms, many on the wetter side during the day. Could see a brief period of some dry time for some of you Saturday, maybe in the evening, before more rain overnight into Sunday morning. Here's that cold front pushing through in the afternoon. Some will begin to dry out, especially north of I-44, maybe for the later half of Sunday, though will stay cloudy. Temperatures today, hot, upper 80s to low 90s. Evening temperatures in the 80s at 9 o'clock and warm tonight in the mid 70s. And I do want to mention, feels like temperatures still pretty brutal. Mid to upper 90s today, and tomorrow upper 90s, maybe low 100s before that. That'd be pretty cool. Hey, today we're tracking the potential for severe storms off to our north. Right now we have a couple severe thunderstorm warnings moving out of Iowa, heading into northern Illinois and back into parts of Wisconsin as well. And then off in parts of northern Missouri, not severe, but a lot of thunderstorms and some very heavy rain there. Off towards the east coast, Pennsylvania and into Virginia, a couple severe thunderstorm warnings as well, with this wave of storms tracking over towards the Atlantic shortly into the afternoon and evening. Today's severe risk is greatest here across parts of the Midwest. Level 3 enhanced risk for severe storms covers much of Wisconsin into Iowa and into parts of northern Missouri as well. We'll continue to see those storms here in northern Missouri really kind of moving in, heading into the overnight hours tonight. Now tomorrow, another risk for severe storms, level 3 enhanced risk to our northeast, back up towards the Great Lakes. But it is a first alert weather day here in the Ozarks. We'll see a cold front slide through, bringing us the potential for a few severe storms tomorrow, mostly in the evening hours. Temperatures today hot for much of the U.S., upper 80s to mid 90s, some 100s in the Texas Panhandle, 103 in El Paso. 107 in Phoenix. The cooler air in the Pacific Northwest today, with highs only back in the 60s. Winds have continued to pick up right now, coming in from the southwest. Gusts right now still about 20 to almost 40 miles an hour. Strongest back over towards I-49, closer to Springfield, with a 33-mile-per-hour gust. Strongest over in Kansas and Oklahoma. Throughout the day today, the strongest wind gusts still likely west of Highway 65, mostly gusts about 30, maybe up to 35 miles an hour for many. And then I'd say about 25 to 30 maybe in some of our eastern counties. This is 4 o'clock here. And then into the overnight hours, still pretty breezy as well, coming in from the south. Gusts around 20-25 before increasing quickly after sunrise. Still from the south, gusts up to 40 miles an hour tomorrow. Definitely a really windy day for just about everyone, and that continues into the afternoon and for the evening hours as well, certainly as storm chances continue to go up tomorrow evening. Now this weekend, winds maybe not as strong, but we are tracking some more rain chances. Drier Friday, temperatures in the upper 70s to low 80s with some scattered rain again for your Saturday and Sunday. Dry. There are some storms off to our north that are severe, with a couple tornado warnings coming out of St. Joseph right now and severe storms north of Columbia. But for us, quiet, partly sunny. We have seen just a few very isolated light showers. No storms this afternoon. Back in Miller and Marys County, we are looking at a little bit of rain. Some just passed through Osage Beach, heading off to the north and east. A sprinkle in Rolla right now, but it's still a hot day, very humid. We are in the mid to upper 80s right now, 89 in Salem and Mountain Home, 88 in Lebanon, and 84, one of the cooler spots in Monette. But we are feeling very hot. Check out your heat indices right now, feeling like the low to mid 90s and a few warmer spots. 97 in Camdenton. Salem says 104. That site typically runs a little hotter. 92 in Rolla, 93 in West Plains, and 94 is what it feels like in Mountain Home right now. Winds are coming in from the southwest. It's been gusty today. Gusts right now about 20 to 30 miles an hour. A little bit stronger over in Oklahoma and Kansas. Heading into the evening, we stay very warm through 9 o'clock. We're in the 80s with temperatures overnight tonight mid 70s. As you head out the door tomorrow morning, very warm, very humid, and temperatures in the afternoon upper 80s to low 90s for highs, with storm chances going up Thursday afternoon and a first alert weather day tomorrow that I'll time out coming up soon. Tomorrow, as storms move in along a cold front, I'll time it out hour by hour and talk more about your severe threats tonight. That does include some of our northernmost counties. I do think, though, the wave of storms that is of concern actually stays off to our north. However, of course, if they slide a little bit further south, some may pack a punch with a low severe risk for hail or damaging wind. But the greatest threat is going to stay off to our north. I'd say overnight tonight. Most models keep the rain to our north. Here's 10 p.m. Looks kind of nasty back up into parts of northern Missouri over towards Kansas, but we're still dry here in the Ozarks. Maybe a stray shower trying to clip our northernmost counties tonight, but like I mentioned, just about everyone stays dry. And tomorrow morning, we all start off dry around 7 a.m. In the afternoon, by lunchtime, we're still dry. It's not until the late afternoon and evening hours, I'd say closer to 4 o'clock, that we begin to see our storm chances go up as the cold front slides on in, and we are looking at storms that could be severe with a first alert weather day for your Thursday. By 7 o'clock, these storms make a run towards I-44. Some of these could still be severe, but you notice that line maybe starting to break up just a bit. It'll gradually weaken, tracking into some of our southeastern counties, but these could still be maybe at least marginally severe. Still here close to 11 p.m. tomorrow, and then weakening, I'd say a little after midnight as well. And we'll look at drier weather to start Friday morning off and Friday afternoon as well. Now, there is a level 2 slight risk for severe storms tomorrow that covers almost our entire area. Level 3 greater threat off to our north, but here's what we're talking about. Your threats will include a storm that could contain 60 to maybe 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts. That's probably our greatest threat, what we'll see most of if we see any severe storms, and then the potential for up to golf ball sized hail. Now, there is a low, just not zero tornado risk, maybe a little bit greater north of I-44, but that's still a low threat. So we'll be watching out for that as well. But like I mentioned, damaging winds will probably be what we see a little bit more of. Tomorrow's hot though before those storms arrive. Upper 80s, low 90s. Friday, behind that front, a little bit cooler, closer to average. And then we'll be below average heading into the start of next week. But you see rain and storm chances moving on in, and I think Monday is looking to be maybe a little bit drier for now, so we'll have to watch that trend closely with the latest model runs. But Saturday, a pretty wet day and storms possible, some maybe even on the strong to severe side as well. Certainly a lot of rain with the potential for some heavy rain Saturday, and then that continues into the evening hours. Overnight, a few showers and storms as our next cold front begins to work its way on in into early Sunday morning, and the potential for maybe some drier time Sunday afternoon as the rain continues to try and track further off to the south and east a little bit sooner. Now this evening, staying warm and humid, low 80s at 9 o'clock. Overnight lows dropping back into the mid 70s by, I should say, 9 o'clock. Overnight lows will continue, yes, to be in the mid 70s by tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon in the upper 80s to low 90s. Feels like temperatures heading into the day tomorrow will be in the mid to upper 90s, maybe some spots back around 100 degrees. So where we had, I will say, tropical storm Christina. This is back over in the Pacific. Now it has weakened to a tropical depression now before making landfall. Winds at only 35 miles an hour and that pressure at 1,007 millibars, and it's moving northwest at about 5 miles an hour now. So we're watching this storm because actually this has given us our first potential development of storms back across parts of the Atlantic region, and of course that's really back over towards the Gulf, but in the Atlantic basin that they track. So the tropical depression works its way on land tomorrow, but then here's that outlook by the National Hurricane Center. It still just has a low potential of development over the next 7 days. That's about 10%, but this is the first one we've had so far this season. The season did begin officially June 1st and runs through the end of November, so still quite some time with the peak of the season going up as we head into late August and early September. Been a breezy afternoon. We have gusts right now still coming in from the southwest, on average about 20 to 30 miles an hour. Gusts today have been closer to almost 40 back towards Joplin, and even stronger over in Kansas and Oklahoma. Heading into the evening, winds are still going to be a bit breezy over the next couple of hours. Then I'd say around 9 o'clock, not as strong. Still though tonight a little bit windier, gusts maybe around 20-25 miles an hour. And then tomorrow picking back up, and winds tomorrow will be stronger than today. Still coming in from the southwest, but gusts may be closer to 30 to almost 40 miles an hour, with the strongest likely west of Highway 65 and nearing 50, maybe back over in Kansas and Oklahoma at times. This is lunchtime tomorrow, still very strong winds, and then it's not until I'd say the late evening that winds slow down a bit, but still on the moderate side, gusts about 20 to 25 miles an hour. Now heading into the weekend, winds are a little bit better. We'll slow down. Some dry time on Friday, temperatures a bit cooler behind a front, and then rain chances going back up for your Saturday and Sunday with some showers and storms as well. The low 80s still at 9 p.m. Temperatures tonight on the warmer side with just a few passing clouds. Overnight lows above average, mid 70s for many waking up tomorrow morning. Winds will be a little bit breezy at times, maybe some gusts around 20 to 25 miles an hour. And another day tomorrow with some big heat, highs in the upper 80s to low 90s. Tomorrow is the first alert weather day as we track storms tomorrow late afternoon and evening. Some could be severe. We'll talk more about the threats and I'll have the timing hour by hour coming up on the news at 5. Obviously today and tomorrow. And storm chances really go up tomorrow, but we have had an isolated shower or two pop up this afternoon and a thunderstorm passing through Phelps County, weakening as it tracks off to the north and east. Nothing severe though. Brief pocket of heavy rain just passed through Rolla, riding along I-44. That should be about it for the evening. Most will stay completely dry, mid to upper 80s right now, and feels like temperatures in the 90s. Some upper 90s, 97 in Rolla, Camdenton, 98 in Salem, 94 is what it feels like in Mountain Home right now. And winds are a bit breezy coming in from the southwest, gusts about 20 to 35 miles an hour right now, with the strongest today west of Highway 65 mostly. Heading into the next couple of hours, we'll be in the low 80s through about 10 o'clock. Yeah, very warm. And overnight tonight, only in the mid 70s. So it's going to be a hot start to the morning tomorrow, easily warming up into the upper 80s, low 90s again before our next cold front arrives. Tomorrow's the first alert weather day for some storms along that front. I'll have the timing coming up soon. Skies and almost everyone has stayed dry. A brief isolated shower popped up this afternoon back over in some of our eastern counties. However, all of the rain continuing to work its way on out of here with the better chance to our north this evening and overnight tonight. Storm Prediction Center is highlighting still maybe some of our northern counties in a low severe risk for storms overnight. That greatest risk though off to our north back up towards Kansas City, northern Missouri with a level 3 enhanced risk. Hey, I really think the storm path stays off to our north. However, of course, we'll watch this closely over the next couple of hours and overnight tonight. If we do see a storm, it would be marginally severe, minimum threshold quarter-size hail, I think, and 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. But this is 10 p.m. Storms looking pretty nasty to our north still, but we are dry. Maybe an isolated shower in some of our northernmost counties overnight. Tomorrow by 7 a.m. though, we start off dry and will be partly to mostly sunny in the afternoon until a cold front begins to work its way on in. Here's 4 o'clock. Storms firing off along a front. First alert weather day tomorrow. Some of these could be severe. Continuing into 7 p.m. to line up maybe closer to I-44. Still a severe threat for the evening commute hours. And then by around 11 o'clock, we'll see storms mostly south of I-44. They are beginning to weaken, maybe just a bit. Still, though, some strong to low and severe possible. Closer to midnight, they begin to wind on down and track off to our south. And I think we stay pretty dry heading into Friday morning. Now tomorrow's severe threat, level 2, slight risk for much of the area. Level 3, enhanced risk off to our north. Here's a look at the threats we're tracking for you. The potential for 60 to 70 miles an hour for some wind gusts will be our greatest threat that we see maybe a little bit more of, and then hail up to golf ball size will be another threat. There is a low, just not zero, tornado risk as well. That threat may be a little bit better north of I-44, but once again, that is going to be a lower threat for us. Now, the next couple of days, some big changes on the way. Tomorrow, it's still hot and humid out ahead of that front, but that front will push in cooler air. Finally back closer to average heading into the later half of your work week and for the weekend. Temperatures dropping back into the 70s at the start of next week as well. This weekend, though, kind of a wet one. We're tracking some showers and storms, and we have gone ahead now and issued a first alert weather day for Saturday as well. The potential for some flooding will certainly exist with all of the rain that we've seen so far over the last couple of weeks, and then even more heading into Saturday with some pockets of heavy rain that could drop more than 2 inches of rain in some spots during the day. So scattered rain into the afternoon. Some storms may also be on the strong to potentially severe side. We'll watch those trends closely. A little bit of rain overnight into Sunday morning as well, scattered into the early afternoon, but a cold front slides on through, and we could see maybe some drier time for the later half of Sunday if we're lucky. Now, This evening, it's still hot, 80s by 9 o'clock. Lows tonight in the mid-70s. Highs tomorrow in the upper 80s to low 90s again, but
at Founders Park in downtown Springfield, the city's found with the heart, and yeah.
There are better ways.
There are better ways, yeah. This is red. Usually that means hot, doesn't it?
Yep, upper 80s, low 90s tomorrow.
The outdoor activities we have in the summertime.
Yes.
All right, thanks for watching KY3.